Yup. We got another one. Black Balloons. We got Gene Deal here on the screen. You don't know who that is? I think he was a bodyguard for P. Diddy. So you already know where this is going. Let's get into it though. Let's get into it though. Let's see what he talking about. Oh yeah. Come on now. Come on, bro. Get it ready.
Puff having to have some money to keep Big and Craig Mack around before he got to Clyde Davis. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't able to tell that story because they didn't have no intel on that story or what went down, or they didn't do their investigations right, which he also led up to the reason why Wolf ain't here today. You understand? They didn't tell that story. They didn't tell a story about Jessica Rosenbaum, who was at the City College situation. You understand? It was Puff, Heavy D, and Jessica. You know what I'm saying? Jessica was the reason why those kids lost their life because she locked the door on those kids running down the steps. You understand? You could see her name in a news article, but they didn't mention nothing about her taking place. But they try to put Heavy D, God bless the dead, out there, and they put Puff out there. You know what I'm saying? She should have been the main one because she is the one who locked the door
She the one shut the
on the
door on,
kids.
so they couldn't
You
get out of there.
understand? She is the one who locked the door on the kids, and all those kids lost their life.
Producer, not 50 Cent. 50 Cent wanted him in the documentary, but they couldn't work out the terms with the other producer, right? So check this out. There was this one clip that popped up. It's an old Gene Deal clip on Art of Dialogue where he talks about Diddy and his relationship with the co-founder of Bad Boy. So y'all know Kirk Burrows. Basically, he was like the main one talking throughout the documentary, the guy with the dreads, right? And also I found, some other clips that have basically resurfaced from Jaguar Wright. And I mean, if you kind of knew about all this stuff, you knew Jaguar Wright was really, on point the entire time. A lot of people say stuff about Jaguar Wright, but when it comes to this Diddy stuff, she was damn near right about everything, right? So there's this clip that I found from her as well where she talks about this
Jared White was
guy.
going crazy
And
for a
in the
little minute.
clip, they
He
talk
was
about
putting on whatever.
how, I think he's like Chris Jenner's boyfriend or something like that. His name just, slipped my mind real quick, but we're going to talk about him more. The clip from Jaguar Wright talks about how he was at like so many different death scenes of different artists. I think he was even at Michael Jackson's death scene. He was also at Kim Porter's. I'm gonna let the clip tell you what's going on, but basically in this video, I want to
That's a little
play some
crazy,
of
bro.
these old clips that have
That's a little crazy, bro.
resurfaced that basically, you know, tie they basically tie things together and just proves it even further since the documentary has come out and people are now seeing this.
Yo, hold on 1 second. I want to take a minute to show y'all my merchandise. If you see anything you like, go ahead and get you some. You'll be out there looking fly, looking fresh. I'm gonna leave a link in the description.
For themselves. A lot of people, are going back to these old clips like, dang, she was right, he was right, this and that. That person was right about this. Like, there's a lot of clips that's just coming back around. I mean, this documentary has basically, it's turned the internet all the way up. So let's go ahead and
I
jump
ain't even get
into
to
this
watch it yet.
first clip. Feel like we getting a good start on the 30 for 30 this month. So y'all already know, man. Y'all just run the like up. Y'all just run the likes up on this video for me. We gonna get straight to it, man. So with that being said, y'all, check this out.
How you feel about this lawsuit that Kurt Burrows got against Puffy?
Well, what I told you was, and you are a witness to this. I said back in the day, people used to think that Kirk Burrows and Diddy was lovers or they had some kind of relationship like that. Remember I told you that? And you was like,
I remember that. You told me that years ago.
yeah, and you said to me, yo, you gonna speak about it? I said, nah, I ain't gonna speak about it, bro. You understand? I'm gonna wait till he speak about it. So people who had known that, I always knew that because I used to follow Puff to Kirk House when we had the building and the red zone, and we used to take the money from those clubs and we had to drop it off at Kirk House. So we wasn't dropping. He would, he was staying there. If you spending the night at another house, and you got a apartment with your girl somewhere else, okay. So when I seen in the lawsuit that he said that Kirk said that Puff was SAing him, sexually assaulting him, sodomizing him, doing all kind of things to him, I first thought like, well, hold up, they was lovers or they was, that's his boss. So maybe the boss cannot have sex with people, the CEO can't have people that work for them. And that's why it becomes illegal. I don't know, bro. It's the law. The law is funny. But when I seen the lawsuit and seen all the stuff that was happening and all the things that Kirk was saying, it was things that people knew. A lot of people knew that they were doing something. They were even saying that people were caught. You understand? They were saying that people was even caught.
People out, bro.
So the people were saying that they were caught in the office doing that at one time. Let me get that straight. They were saying that people were around that worked for Bad Boy was saying that they were caught in the office in some uncompromising positions. So it wasn't nothing new. But there's a lot of things that he had said in that lawsuit and that was crazy. And like when he said that the night that Big got killed, that I warned Puff, and I did, but I warned Kirk Burrows first, because he was the one who issued out the money for the security, and he told me that he called Puff, and Puff said he wasn't getting no more security. When I told him that we need more security, bro, you only got me here, and then you got Paul, and you got some LAPD cop or whatever like that. We need more security. We got 23 people with us. The hell is going on?
Diddy told her he was gonna kill Biggie. She knew it was gonna happen. She was purposefully not by her husband's side that night. It happened, and she was told she had to lie about it. And guess what? That lie held up until that boy turned 18. And he started having ideas of what he wanted to do with what he inherited. Because the paperwork was set up for Faith to not be able to receive $1 from Biggie's estate unless it was for little Christopher. And she only had one child with Christopher. The other children who required taking care of and feeding and all of them couldn't be fed off of Christopher Wallace's money. They weren't his kids. See how that works?
Right. I wonder what Gene Deal would say about this.
Kirk Burrows' lawsuit must have went over my head because he filed it back in May of this year. I didn't know about that, so I watched the documentary not knowing that him and Kirk Burrows also had a sexual relationship. And it was put in the lawsuit. But apparently, people in the industry, Gene Deal, so on and so on, they've been knew this since back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So it seems like if you was going to be on Diddy team, either you was down with it or he was going to force you to be down with it. How they gave a man that much power, I have no idea. But I guess people will do anything or subject themselves to, all of those kind of vile things, sexual things, because they're trying to, make a living, or they used to that money, and
Man, Diddy was
they don't want to come up, say something, and get fired, so on and so on. So they get with the program, basically, right? So it says that Kirk Burroughs
hold me these
alleged years of
balloons, hold me
sexual
these
abuse,
balloons.
coercion, violence, and
That's
intimidation,
it.
just like
Probably took
most
a ride in
of
the bitch on these balloons.
all the other lawsuits that are against Diddy. It said Burroughs claims Combs subjected him to unwanted sexual advances, including groping his crotch and buttocks and forcing him to witness
Oh,
Combs engaging in sexual acts with artists, interns,
that man
and
Diddy's a scary
employees.
man,
And
bro.
even all the way back in 1995, Combs greeted Burroughs in the nude and demanded he watch him masturbate. So we talking about he been doing this with his co-workers and people around him all his life.
That man Diddy was
And this documentary
crazy.
has just shined things in a complete new way that a lot of people are now putting this stuff together, that I thought, would be very interesting to just toss some of these clips in this video, especially that one where Jaguar Wright was talking about, Diddy actually telling Big's wife at the time, Faith, that yeah, this was gonna happen and you're gonna have to play along as if you don't know what's going on. And they were able to keep her away from Big that night. I mean, it's so much that goes into how they actually set up Biggie Smalls' death. Overwhelming amount of evidence, right? So we don't got to spend too much time on that. Let's go ahead. I want to play this other clip where Jaguar Wright was talking about Corey Gamble, the guy that I showed in the beginning here on the screen. Crazy because this is a picture with him and Kris Jenner when she got that facelift, and this is before she got that facelift. This is just, it's crazy how, or whatever she got done to her face. But man, that is a drastic difference. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into this clip. Just thought it would be interesting because it really goes to show that this Corey Gamble guy is definitely someone to watch because he always ends up around people who have died or been sacrificed. Check this out, y'all.
Let me ask you about Corey Gamble. He was at Kim Porter's death scene.
Yeah, I know.
With AI,
you can create any character you want in seconds.
this used to require huge Hollywood budgets.
And he was also the nigga that took Tory Lanez to Kylie's house to fake shoot Megan Thee Stallion. Corey Gamble is Justin Bieber's former tour manager, which taught Kris Jenner how to be a tour manager so that she could take over the financial responsibility for all of Kanye West shows and remove Sean G.
Okay, I've collected my thoughts, I've done a lot of research, and we have to talk about Corey Gamble. Corey Gamble is surrounded by so much controversy and mystery. I think we should go back to the very beginning, because truly, who is Corey Gamble and how did he become so closely associated with figures such as Jeff Bezos, the Kardashian Empire, Rock Nation, and of course P. Diddy? As always, let's go back to Corey Gamble was born on November 10th of 1980 in Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta is where he would grow up and spend the majority of his childhood and early adulthood as well. Corey attended Westlake High School in Atlanta, where he would nickname himself Mr. Dependable, and he was the captain of his football team. Kanye West has accused Corey Gamble of being a part of the CIA or being a Fed in some sort of capacity. Kanye has said multiple times that Corey Gamble is not to be trusted.
Corey is a plant. Corey was, Puff Daddy, Nanny, Manny. You get what I'm saying? Then he was with Justin Bieber when Justin Bieber got in trouble.
Scott Disick is another figure who has vocalized his concern about Corey's mysterious past and how quickly Corey and Kris jumped into a very serious relationship. Just a couple years after Corey Gamble began his relationship with Kris Jenner, we had a new president elected in 2016. After that president was elected, Kanye West and Corey Gamble personally flew out to New York City to congratulate Donald Trump personally. Now, this is the second time we have seen Corey Gamble in very close proximity to important government officials or affiliates of government officials. And unfortunately for Corey, it doesn't appear that he is going to be beating the Fed, CIA allegations anytime soon. Right now, we are all patiently or impatiently waiting to see if Corey Gamble will be named in any kind of capacity having some form of involvement in the current P. Diddy lawsuit that's going on. Corey Gamble has also had a long-standing friendship with Ellen DeGeneres, former television TV show host, and her wife, Portia. Even after Ellen DeGeneres' many, many scandals, Corey Gamble still remains very close friends with Ellen and Portia. While Corey Gamble was working closely with Scooter Braun hand in hand with many young pop stars, Corey would often post himself traveling on luxurious private jets. In quite a few photographs, private jets that Corey is traveling on look a lot like P. Diddy's private jet, which certainly would not be a surprise knowing that they go back so many years. But Corey Gamble's connection to P. Diddy, along with his close proximity to many young pop stars, is sinister to say the least. Now, this next connection and friendship is very, very strange. Not only is Corey Gamble connected to very influential figures in the celebrity realm, he is also well connected to influential figures who work behind the scenes. Corey has said that he's close friends with a Russian-Canadian billionaire named Alex Schneider. Not only is Alex Schneider a major investor in a myriad of different businesses in real estate, he is also the owner of the Grand Prix, which he purchased from Eddie Jordan in 2005 and renamed it to Midland F1 Racing.
We may have found the most well-connected person in the industry. This guy has a relationship with everybody. And Kanye has been right the entire time when people thought he was crazy. You know how he said Corey Gamble is CIA or he a Fed or some type, right? This is how you know people are very well connected, and he may be some kind of Fed, CIA operative in the field. That's why he's well known across all industries: politics, music, actors, actresses, you know, Russian billionaires who also invested in Trump's hotels, connected with everyone. But at the same time, nobody knows who he is. This one of them dudes, I pulled up this picture for a reason. This one of them dudes you'll see taking a picture with Jay-Z, you know, courtside, and you'd be like, oh, okay, that's one of Jay-Z friends. You would have no idea who this guy really is. That's like a telltale sign that he is a operative. He was on Kim Porter's death scene. He was on Michael Jackson's death scene. He set up the whole thing with Tory Lanez, according to Jaguar Wright. This guy is everywhere. Seemed like it's 2 or 3 of them. He got so many relationships. I watched some other videos I didn't feel, you know, was necessary to put into this video, but the point is, you know, very strong connection with Diddy. You could tell he's zesty. That picture of him holding that bag, he goes both ways. So it's very fitting that, you know, he's with the Kardashians and he was very close to Diddy. Probably had something to do with the death of Kim Porter, considering that he's been at all of these death scenes when these famous musicians and, you know, people in the industry are dying, saying that he probably was the one who groomed Justin Bieber and got him to, you know, some places. You know what I'm saying? Taught Kris Jenner how to be a tour manager so they could take more of Kanye's money. This guy is this one of them real deal snakes that a lot of people don't know. I didn't even know all this information about Corey Gamble. That's how you know, these are the ones, they'll be right there. These are the ones that they'll be right there, like, in your face, but you have no idea the connections and the way that they move, because you're not really meant to know, unless you actually do some digging and put together his relationships. I mean, he has pictures with Kobe Bryant. He all over the place. I mean, you are close friends with Ellen DeGeneres and her wife. Oh, this dude, you know, it's just crazy how
Yeah, he all over.
some people, you know,
He
are
all
playing
over.
parts behind the scenes as operatives and infiltrating so much stuff, and you wonder who is he working for? You know, like what's the goal? What's the point of being so well connected? You know, when you're already rich, it's like, who are you working for? You must be working for Satan himself. I mean, what's the point of being so well connected? How can you even juggle that many lifestyles or that many different people and circles? He's
That's a good
definitely
observation.
an interesting character. But like I said, you know, the point of this video is that all of this stuff is just coming back to light. Like, this documentary is going to do a lot more than just show, you know, Diddy as a psycho. I mean, it's circling around things that, you know, people are being forced to pay attention to now. And y'all already know, man. I mean, the documentary is huge. It's #1 on Netflix. It's probably the only thing that's on the internet right now. You can't scroll down any timeline without seeing a couple videos about the documentary. So I just thought this one was very interesting, man, to go ahead and bring to y'all on a Sunday. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this whole thing. Corey Gamble, some of this, you know, some of these clips that's been resurfaced.
Yeah, man. So, what y'all think? Man, that's crazy. These the people you don't be knowing, bro. They be doing stuff in the background, and I mean, you might, like he said, you see him take a picture, but you don't know who he is. You just brush it off because you focused on the celebrity or whatever the case may be. But this man, he just as connected as a celebrity. He just as rich as a celebrity. He just, you know what I'm saying, doing stuff in the background. Man, that's crazy though, bro. That's crazy, bro. Appreciate you for tuning in. You already know what's up with me. I'm gone.